Oh my goodness. It is happening. He is coming back. My amplified unit, top of the morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. It's been one of those wild days. You never know in this podcasting thing. Sometimes news stories break and you got to be ready whenever you get a chance to get on the mic and talk about it. And sometimes you get those days where it's just a bunch of big stories and there's so much to talk about. I already put up 2 videos early this morning. I put up over an hour-long AEW Dynamite review and a lot of talk about Sasha showing up to AEW and how pretty much Tony Khan, that's his only option right now, or he's going to be booed out of LA, I feel. I explained all about that in the first video that I put up today. And then I put up a live stream, nearly 2 hours long, how WWE has finally removed Sasha Banks from their public roster page, their legal page, and she is now in the alumni section, meaning that there is no more ties between Sasha and WWE, and she is now Mercedes Moné, and who knows where she's going to show up next, but there is no more ties with WWE. That was a big story that broke, because we've been watching that roster page for a long time. So BC was still trying to comprehend that even when that live stream went off the air. And this is the 3rd video of the day, and it had to be made. I wanted to let this simmer until tomorrow. There's no way. I mean, the more we're finding out, this is just massive, man. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. I want to say he's returning to WWE, but if you follow this channel, you know BC and how I felt from day one. He never left. Guys, he never left. All you have to do is watch the product to know that this is not just 3 H's acting on his own, just because he brought a lot of his old NXT people back. And you see a little bit of differences here and there on the show, very minor. You could tell that this was Vince McMahon through and through. And I believe 3 H's has a lot more power now at the top, and he gets to make a lot of judgment calls. But anything and any time that VKM wanted something done or something changed or something his way, you could tell that's exactly what happened. So he never left, guys. He was always, whether he was in an arena or not, or just with his feet kicked up at home in Stamford, Connecticut, although I don't see him with his feet kicked up. He's probably still got his suit on and yelling at H through the phone. But this was always VKM, guys. That's why you see moves like Austin Theory, no matter if you think he's repackaged or not. All he really did was put down a phone. But it's the same guy that VKM was pushing anyway, Austin Theory. It's Charlotte Flair, comes back just to win a 14 championship. That's VKM. Lacey Evans is being repackaged again, even though it fails every time. That's VKM. He's always been trying to push her. Just a lot of things. You watch a Monday Night Raw and you're watching a VKM product. It's pretty obvious. So I say he never left, but guys, now it's no longer just BC, because a lot of people never wanted to hear, BC, and they would laugh. Oh, he's gone, man. Just give it up, man. VKM's gone and he's not coming back. It's H's era. Well, looks like BC was right, and guess what? I'm not giving myself a pat on the back. I was right all along. I don't want any I don't want the flowers. I don't want a parade for BC. I just want WWE to get better. And this is not the way. He's coming back officially, guys. The latest we are now hearing is, it's not even speculative. I wish I could just tell you something we're just hearing speculatively. Speculatively, I can speak. I'm so baffled by this. Vince McMahon himself has written out a whole process letter to the board wanting to come back and fulfill his duties once again as CEO. And the excuses that he is making is fucking pathetic. But you knew he was going to pull this. And you should have known that, because BC has told you this from day one. So, as per CNBC, there's multiple sources and sites you can now go on to get all this information. Let's just go to CNBC. They're pretty good with the stocks as well. And stocks, when Vince McMahon wrote this letter to the board, and I'm going to give you quotes from Vince McMahon's statement himself that he put out there just a few hours ago. The stock jumped 10%. The stock is at an uber all-time high because they think Vince is going to sell any moment, it would seem. That's not the case, though. If you listen to what Vince is saying, there's more to the story. So allow BC to get into this, if you don't mind. Listen to what Vince McMahon is saying. And again, I'm going through CNBC here, guys. This is their report on it, and I'll just skim through it. Vince McMahon is staging a comeback to World Wrestling Entertainment months after he retired from the company over a sexual misconduct scandal. Shares of the company have jumped 10% after hours following McMahon's Thursday announcement. McMahon, the company's controlling shareholder, said he had elected himself executive chairman of the company and that he brought on two former WWE co-presidents and board members, Michelle Wilson and George Barrios. Those names might sound familiar. I know you guys have seen them around for years behind Stephanie McMahon or Triple H, definitely Vince, John Laurinaitis. I know if you've seen their face, you know who Michelle Wilson and George Barrios are. Those were the right-hand man and woman of Vince McMahon for years and years. And they left the company a few years ago, cashed in on that stock as well. So they were well off. They went off and did big things. Well, they're coming back with Vince McMahon. Now, CNBC goes on to say the board initially pushed back on McMahon's attempted return along with Wilson and Barrios, which would force three current board members out of their positions. So I told you guys when we first heard rumors that he was coming back, even though BC said he never left, but coming back into this position and filing the proper paperwork like he is now doing. I told you guys he was going to be willing to kick out board members if need be. Now he's going about it the right way right now, and it's still going to kick out 3 board members. But if they reject his attempt to come back, Vince will eject them no matter what. He's got the voting share power to do such, and there's no legality loophole that will prevent him. WWE doesn't have that. So Vince is going to play, this is him actually playing nice. He will go to the ruthless aggression Vince if they push him and they deny his return. But anyway, at first, the board did block that or was against it because they didn't want to lose 3 current board members. McMahon said that his return is necessary as the company gears up for negotiations over media rights and strategic alternatives. WWE, which styles itself as a media company, has been mentioned as a potential acquisition target. Meaning, guys, what BC has been telling you for the last 2 years. Everything WWE seems to be doing seems to be for a potential sale. I told you guys that. Everything you're hearing today, and we'll hear in the next 24, 48 hours and going forward, you've already heard this from BC. So you should not be that shocked, but I know when we see it happen in real time, it is still shocking. But it's everything BC said was happening, man. I would never steer you guys in the wrong direction. I would never give you guys bullshit. I told each and every one of you, when you sign up, when you subscribe to the BC Amplify channel, we are going to talk facts and what is actually happening. And everything I ever told you guys is happening, and you're reading about it right here in these reports. So he's gearing up for the sale, and even before that, he thinks he needs to be back for the negotiations for the media rights and the new TV deals coming up and the new licensing, which is going to start off in 2023 and catapult into 2024. And he feels he needs to be there. And some people may say it's only going to worsen the contract negotiations, but that's not actually true. A lot of the USA Network execs, they love to deal with Vince and Vince alone. So something like USA Network, for instance, even though Raw's in the shitter, Vince will woo them, a little fucking Charlotte Flair wooing, and you will have a pretty badass TV rights deal, I bet. Licensing going forward. Vince truly believes that he's the only one that can do this, and he's not going to put that power into the hands of his daughter, or as CM Punk called it, his doofus son-in-law, Triple H. Going on with the report. Now I'm going to give you guys, this is a quote from Vince McMahon's letter that he sent to the board. Ready? For reinstatement. Vince McMahon says, and I quote, "The only way for WWE to fully capitalize on this opportunity to get the most money," is what he's talking about, "is for me," Vince McMahon to return as executive chairman and support the management team in the negotiations for our media rights, and to combine that with a review of strategic alternatives. My return will allow WWE, as well as any transaction counterparties, to engage in these processes, knowing they will have the support of the controlling shareholder. So there's so much to unpack right there in Vince McMahon's statement on why he should be returning. He says, first of all, let's go to the end of that, right? When he says all transaction counterparties to engage in these processes, knowing that they will have the support of the controlling shareholder. He wants everybody to be reminded that he is the controlling shareholder still. He is still the owner of WWE when it comes down to it. And he's using that bullshit that no matter what deal comes into play, they will know that they have the real owner in their corner, backing the deal up. As if they really need that. But he's going to flex that muscle, pump out the chest, bulge out the delts, and he's going to be Mr. McMahon. He says the only way that WWE can fully capitalize on these opportunities is for me to return as executive chairman, guys. And support I love this part. Support the management team in the negotiations. Guys, see, this is what's been happening on your television shows. Yeah, H can have some say. H can bring people back. H can control some storylines, even though I'm not seeing them. But it's VKM who's on the phone 24/7 and anything he wants done. But when it comes to the negotiations, you have to be in a boardroom for that with USA Network or Fox or a licensing deal or any type of transactional deal that's pretty prevalent. You have to be there live, right? That's not even Zoomed anymore. So Vince knows he can bullshit his way around television and act like 3H's is doing everything. But when you're in these type of deals, you can't act that out. You have to be in there. So this is where Vince says, no, bro, this is the business side of it. I need to be there for that, and I can't bullshit my way around it. So I love how he says, I'll be there to support the management team in the negotiations. That motherfucker's going to be running that show. You know how Vince is. A spokesperson, a WWE spokesperson, didn't immediately comment on the matter. McMahon retired last year amid the investigation. A special committee probe found that McMahon had paid nearly $15 million to 4 separate women over the course of 16 years in order to silence them. Yet, because McMahon is the company's largest shareholder, he maintains a lot of power. His daughter, Stephanie McMahon, and former company president Nick Khan became co-CEOs after he retired. Vince McMahon had also turned over creative control to his son-in-law, Paul Levesque, a former wrestler who was known as Triple H. That was all smoke and mirrors, obviously. He put everybody in place perfectly and awaited the smoke to settle, the dust to clear, and awaited his return. Who told you that was going to happen from day one? I was the only podcaster to say it that vividly. I took a lot of heat for that. A lot of people laughed. It's over, BC. He's not coming back, man. Are you kidding me? He can't do that with all the investigation. I had a million lawyers all of a sudden telling me that this is not possible. Oh, it's possible. And I quote, Mr. McMahon can effectively exercise control over our affairs, the company said in a November regulatory filing. I'll say that again. From the company's statement, the WWE statement, Mr. McMahon can effectively exercise control over all our affairs. This is massive, and this is now Vince McMahon's letter. The letter is out there for public accord, guys. Anybody can read the full letter that Vince McMahon wrote to the board. Now, what's happening, guys, in case you're still confused, McMahon has to write this letter to his board. Now, his shareholders need to know all this, right? This is written to them to accept him back, basically, right? Now all the voting happens, and everybody talks about it and decides if this is best for business, literally. If they agree to do so, Vincent Kennedy McMahon is now reinstated as CEO, Chief Executive Officer of World Wrestling Entertainment, meaning he is once again the head honcho. It only took a few months, guys, and I told you this was going to happen. I thought it'd be a little bit later. He's like, no, I'm ready now. And he's bringing with him for the board George Barrios, Michelle Wilson, his right-hand man and right-hand woman from back in the day, man, years ago. He's bringing them, which means 3 board members will be booted. Das Boot. So it'll look like a whole different WWE, to be honest with you. This will look... this will be much more Vince McMahon's bitch. I mean, that's the only wording I can give you. If you thought he had control before, I mean, he's putting even more of his people into play. You can't make this shit up. And guys, if they try to stop this, I'm telling you right now, Vincent Kennedy McMahon will find a way to force himself back in. He's got so many ways that he could do such. So many ways. This video would have to be an hour long for me to go through them with you, but all you need to know is that he can effectively, because there's no legal loophole to prevent this, some companies do have those, he can remove the directors himself and make himself CEO. That's the simplistic form. There's a lot he would have to do, but for all intents and purposes, all you need to know is if he wants back, he's back. He's just trying to go about it the right way by saying all of these lies. And let me make sure, see if I need to give you guys anything else as well. The board previously rebuffed, and the others will require 3 current board members to vacate their positions. So basically, he's just trying to sell everybody on the board that this is needed. He's trying to sell the shareholders that this is needed. I am best for business, especially not just for rights deals, but if we want to sell the company, you're going to need me. And that is true. No sale of WWE can even happen, guys, without Vince McMahon's approval. That's what happens when you have over 80% of that voting power. Nothing can happen without his consent with a sale. So, I mean, he's pretty much got everybody by the balls. I would love to see some more of Vince's actual statement if I can get it. And I'm not sure I'm going to get that up. Not sure I'm going to be able to get that up front. Hold on, guys. Because it was a lengthy letter. I'm just giving you guys some of the points that Vince McMahon was making, which I gave you some of the quotes that I just thought were the most baffling. The biggest lies imaginable. Just don't know if I'm going to get... Yeah, so Mr. McMahon's new role will enable unified decision-making through the company's upcoming media rights negotiations in a parallel full review of the company's strategic alternatives, which McMahon believes is the right course of action and in the best interest of WWE and WWE shareholders amidst the current dynamics in the media and entertainment industry. As Mr. McMahon has communicated to the board, he believes there is a narrow window of opportunity to create significant value for all shareholders, and that to do so, the strategic alternatives review must occur in tandem with the media rights negotiations. He also expressed to the board that he believes these 2 initiatives require Mr. McMahon's direct participation, leadership, and support as controlling shareholder. He wants to remind everybody, you need me. I'm the controlling shareholder. I'm the owner of WWE. Yeah. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. This could easily be another half an hour. I mean, because you have everybody. You have varieties in on this. CNBC, CNN's up in there. Bleachers giving their take. You have the Wall Street Journal. You have the New York Times covering. I mean, everybody. This just happened within the last couple hours, guys. I believe 4:05 p.m. is when that letter became public, I believe, Eastern time. And now everybody, I mean, a lot of these reputable fucking people who have more details, they're coming out in the last 52 minutes. 47 minutes was one article. So, I mean, BC is literally, I mean, this is happening in real time. As if we didn't have enough on our hands with the Sasha Banks WWE situation, it has finally officially come to an end, their relationship. Mercedes Fernando from Mercedes Money. So I put up a lot of content, 2 separate videos, a live stream with that earlier. Check that out if you missed it. And then I think I can go, I can do my fucking tricep workout, I can get a meal in, cover my other business. And no, I get this. This is happening in real time. So even when you catch this, by the time I edit it and get it out to you guys, it might be an hour down the road, but it's still going to be so fresh, and you're probably just hearing about it or haven't even heard about it yet. So anyway, guys, I'm going to keep this a little bit shorter than what the last 2 videos were in live stream. Because I know I'm just consuming you guys with so much content, and I don't want to consume that much of your time. I know you got lives and things to do, but this is massive. This is what BC has been preparing you for. Now it's official. The official letter written by Vince McMahon himself has been issued to his board, to his shareholders, and now it's just voting time. And if he doesn't get what he wants, he will now force his way in. Expect Vince McMahon to what's the word that I want? I guess resume. I'll use the word resume. Expect Vincent Kennedy McMahon to resume his CEO duties by the end of this month, tops, heading into Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. It's been nice having you, Triple H. Next time, work faster, motherfucker. Of course, Vince is going to say he's still in charge of everything, but no. Once Vince gets in there, then he doesn't even have to fake like Triple H and Stephanie and Nick Khan are doing shit. I honestly don't think this is best for business. I think he is going to get big money, guys. He's going to help the company get big money. I don't think it's going to hurt that much that we thought was going to. I mean, the stock jumped up 10% when they heard Vince was coming back because they think a sale is imminent. I think Vince is just coming back to get bigger TV deals, to get bigger licensing, to get really capitalize on WrestleMania and make even more fucking money. I don't think he's going to sell for another year or 2 tops. But the stock is excited. They jumped up 10% knowing Vince is coming back. This is going to make people more happy. More money makes people more happy. Here we go. BC tried to tell you guys. For everybody that didn't believe me, don't even apologize. At this point, just prepare yourself. Vince McMahon is back. BC, top guy, I'm out. Saying check you.